Alright guys, Jamal116 back with another redstone creation. This time, as you may notice, my build is surrounded by a lot of stuff, some of which is mine and some of which isn't. That's because I'm currently on a server. It's the home of the Redstone Engineering Division. There's some info down in the description for how you can actually join the group if you'd like, and how you can find the server and whatnot, but I'm not going to go into too many details right now because you want to see a calculator. Anyways, as you can see, I built a calculator, and it can handle 0 plus 0 very well. However, that doesn't really take a whole ton of skill, especially with the size of this thing. Pretty sure basically anybody could build a calculator that says 0 plus 0 equals 0. So, let's input some bigger numbers. Anyways, as you may have noticed, this calculator is good for up to 5 digits of analog addition and subtraction. And by that, I mean that instead of trying to save this number into binary, so 95,348 in binary, whatever that would be, probably a huge amount of bits. It saves signal strength, so it saves a signal strength of 9, 5, 3, 4, and 8, and then it does math with those. So I'm just gonna jump around some more, hit some numbers. So as you can see, input's pretty clean. Go ahead and hit equals. I'm not actually going to check it, I'm just going to assume it's right, and then I'll check it later once I'm done filming. So, hopefully it's right. There's the answer, 555. Feel free to check it yourself if you want. Looks right to me, though. Anyways, let's do subtraction now, because that's kind of cool. It does also work with negative numbers, so I will try to do a negative for you guys. The other thing you'll notice about this as I'm typing is that the screen is pretty fancy. You first notice the resolution. Should probably wait for the screen to catch up with me as I'm talking about it. Resolution, and you'll notice there is 1 block between each number side to side and only 3 blocks between each number vertically. And that's pretty much the smallest resolution for a Minecraft screen I've ever seen. And you can see the unit over there. The part that makes it really special is that it's actually completely modular. And so basically what that means is that it's not like I put big decoders somewhere else and just bust it to that resolution to the screen. The unit actually outputs to this resolution, and it took a lot of time to try to fit all that crap in there. But it ended up working really well in the end, and I'm really glad it happened that way. Anyways, I'm going to do subtraction, as you'll see. Once again, I'm not actually sure if that answer is correct, but I'm going to trust my gut and just say it is. You can check it yourself. Anyways, I also want to show you one more kind of cool aspect of the screen. You notice if you watch on that last subtraction problem, the minus sign was over there on the extra digit on the end, but if I were to do a different problem, let's say 6 minus 7, something simple. 6 minus 7. The answer obviously is -1, and you'll notice that this time the negative sign will scroll all the way over to the 1. So basically it scrolls over right in front of the most significant bit. Or, not bit, digit. This is not binary. Anyways, you'll also notice that the unnecessary zeros out in front of here are all gone, so it basically looks like you wrote the problem out by hand instead of writing 00006, because nobody does that. However, it does still have a 0 output. You'll notice I used it on purpose earlier in the video, so there is actually a 0. I didn't just get rid of 0 for no reason. Yeah. Anyways, let's get into the redstone, because I'm sure that's what you guys really want to see. The input itself is actually really simple. Every time you hit one of these, you jump on one of these numbers or any of the buttons, it hits the tripwires above it, and those activate in 2 places. One, there's the lines on the side here, and there's the ones on top up here. From there, those just go underneath the pad, and it's just a little XY detector type thing, little AND gate with the torch for an output that tells the machine what button you hit. If you hit a number, then they all come down to this line here, where it gets their signal strength saved for later. If you hit the reset button, obviously that goes over and resets the registers, and if you hit one of these operation buttons, it activates these little dropper memory things, and those go out back to deciding which output it takes, which I'll get into later. Anyways, back to the numbers here. If you hit a number, it obviously gets put in this line like I said. That goes underneath, follows this line of repeaters, over to, I'm falling, to this memory cell, the one in quartz here, and then it also goes through this piston up to the shift lines for the registers. So what happens, like for instance, when the blue line gets activated, is you see there's a blue register and a red register, is the blue register shifts over 1, and that leaves an empty cell over here on the left, and then that quartz block, or that quartz cell, then shifts into the empty cell over here. Obviously then the same thing happens when you hit the red line, but with the red register. From there, it's just a matter of busing into the units. You can see the green here is the adder with some carry logic. The orange is a subtractor with some borrow logic up here, and then the yellow is how it works with negative numbers. Now I'm not going to go into too much detail with these adders because I'm going to do a video on them later probably. They're pretty cool actually though. They're only 3 wide and 4 tall. I think the adder's 7 blocks and the subtractor is only 5 blocks long without that negative number part down there. So it's pretty cool. I'm going to have to definitely do a video about that later, but that's not the important part right now. What I want to get moving on, obviously we have 2 units, so we've got 2 outputs. You can see the addition outputs to this line out here, and that goes up here. I just broke something. Oh no. Okay, that's better. The subtraction comes up this line, and that also goes through here to this line here. Now, this is where the operation buttons come in. So if you hit subtraction, then these pistons pull back and allow the subtraction output to go up to the answer line. If you hit addition, however, these pistons would be pulled back. We'd be adding 6 and 7 right now, and you can see those outputs over here being blocked by the pistons. But because the subtraction pistons are back, that lets this answer go up here. There's a little line here and gets output right onto this line, which actually ends up on this line, and that goes out to the display. Just goes a little half slab thing up into the unit, which as you'll remember was outputting 1. From there, all that's really left is these lines on the bottom here, and that just goes straight from the registers. You can see the comparators from the registers outputting on here, go underneath everything else, and go straight up these half slab towers up to the screen, and that's how we got the 6 and the 7 up here. As for the actual screen part, the decoder thing, if you guys are interested, I'll make a video on how this thing works, if I can remember how I actually built it. But I am not even going to attempt to show you the nitty-gritty every single block in this thing because I can barely even get in there. Basically though, there's a little signal strength decoder along this one, it's 1 wide, and it's along this end here, and then the 3 blocks, the other 3 blocks, the ones that are right around the display, are the ones that actually do the decoding for what segments to light up and what segments stay off. But that's another video. If you guys want to see that and maybe even a download tutorial thing, let me know in the comments. I'll do what I can for that. Anyways, that's all I really have for you guys today. So if you enjoyed the video, if you could leave a like and a comment down below, let me know so I can keep on doing stuff like this. And that's really it. So until next time, this is Jamal116 signing out.